Alrighty, hello YouTube, Cody here, also known as Devi2100, and I got a little bit of a video for you guys today. I've been asked quite a few times now in the comment section on my last video and a few of my shorts to give everybody a demonstration of the flower use of the Dr. Dabber switch, and I do want to go ahead and just kind of put a disclaimer on this, that it does do vaporizing of flower to the most part. Would I still sometimes rather just smokable? Yeah, just because for me, I tend to just use the Dr. Dabber for just concentrates. Now, I do plan to, once I get the black unit sent in and get that repaired and everything like that, once that's all been done and I actually have 2 units, I do want to make one for flower and then the other one just for concentrates, which this will probably be that one. I even still use this guy on the daily. As you can see, it's got some water in it. It's been used and stuff like that, so I do use that guy on the daily when it comes to flower a lot of times. And now the biggest reason, like I said, is really just the cleaning aspect. There is a bit of a slight secondary aspect to this. And that's going to be that you are going to have kind of a little bit of a smoking without fire type of effect. And it's the best way I can describe it because it's not quite vaporizing. It actually goes that step right before combusting is what it tends to do sometimes. And then for some people who don't realize this, these white little pieces that they give you for your Dr. Dabber switch, those are meant to be a leaf filter cap. So, and what that actually helps do, and I know a lot of people sometimes are like, oh, you really don't need it, it obstructs the airflow. If it obstructs the airflow, you pack the cup way too tight somehow. Which it shouldn't even obstruct your airflow because the airflow is way up there anyways. One of the biggest things I've noticed is if you do not have that on, you are going to get vaporized weed into your chamber and somewhere along the lines. Now, right now, I do have this guy loaded up with a dab, because that's another thing everybody's been wanting to ask about the function, see it live and everything like that. Well, not necessarily live, because live streams, if you guys want to come to the twitch.tv/Devi2100 streams, that is where you'll see me most likely using this guy on the regular. Literally where I use it all the time. The other places that I do tend to use it is here on the live streams on YouTube. I tend not to do it so much just because of the fact YouTube is a lot more stricter when it comes to me using something like this versus Twitch. I mean, I can even vape on Twitch, and it isn't a big, huge thing. So, like, if I'm me doing this right now, it's going to label this video drug use, and I'm going to air quote that because it's not necessarily a drug. I consider this more of a stimulant, but nicotine technically is. However, what I want to go over in this video is the flower use. So, I got my my jar here. Got some flower in here. I got some Foot Locker and Gold Cash Gold. So, got 2 strains in there. Now, the more purpley one I got in here, that's going to be the Foot Locker. I think what we're going to go with for the video, I think we're going to vape a little bit of the Gold Cash Gold. If I could speak English, it'd be great. So, this is, let me see if I can do this here real quick. Here. Get a little focus in on that. It's a nice purpley bud there. That's the Foot Locker. This is an amazingly nice, beautiful green. That is Gold Cash Gold. That is what we're going to vape on today. Not that nug specifically. I actually got a perfect little nug in here. No, right here. Okay, so. Boom. We got that in there. Let's go ahead and take a dab real quick. I got it loaded already with some, I do believe in here is some God's Gift. What I have in here. I forget. I hate when they don't put the labeling on the jar of any kind. Or that the packaging isn't somehow memorable, because like even with this guy being terp sugar, I know that this is pre-91 Northern Lights, because Fat Panda sold it before. It's also known as Fuck Yeah by Fat Panda, which is cool to see that they are actually moving out to the East Coast finally. It's awesome to see their flowers start hitting dispensaries, recreationally and medicinally over in the East as well, because damn it, do they make some great products out there. Though right now we are using this guy. This is made by I want to say this isn't Soulshine. Damn it, who is this? Which farm made this one? I'm trying to think of the farm, and it's not coming to mind. Again, I really like it more if you have just a little something on there. I mean, you don't have to go the whole 9 yards where, like, the Seattle Reserve, where it gives me a nice title, everything like that. You know, Seattle's Private Reserve, the glue, terp batter, live resin. You know, and I can see it nicely on the bottom there. So, definitely have used some of this stuff. I've been going through it. I was going to do originally a dab haul video, but I just decided against that one. But right now, we got this guy. Actually, I'm going to go drop it down to 480 degrees. Go ahead and it's on his power setting now. Boom. shows you the battery level. Now, again, when it shows you the pink lights after you've gone to your power setting, that is just letting you know that it's set the power setting and that is letting you know how much battery life you have left. So, cheers, everybody. It's only been about 3 or 5 seconds on this guy right here. Now, I like to let it do its thing where it like actually creates a little bit of a bubble action down there in the bottom of the chamber first. Let it do it 1 or 2 times, and then I go ahead and take a hit. Cheers. That was a good solid taste. It actually has... No, that's not God's gift. That's a GMO. That is a GMO. I think that's a... I don't think it's a straight GMO. I think that's a cross of some sort. So, I just bumped it up to... Just let you guys see it. 500 degrees. Oops, there we go. Locks in. Now, if you want to lock it in, by the way, here's another fast way to do this. Let's say you just want to do it quick. Boom. Hit that. You hit that power button, it instantly locks it. Now, do not hold your power button unless you are training the settings. For those that don't know, I am not in just the basic mode. This is the advanced mode. With basic mode, you only have 5 heat settings on both flour and on concentrates. Now, if you pop it into advanced mode, you get 25 different heat settings, and that's where I prefer to keep it at, because I like to really dial it in. Now, if you're using something like the Sapphire Cup, right here. So if you're using something like this, which you have to have that titanium insert for this cup, you're going to want to put it in crystal mode, which still uses advanced mode. So that's kind of where I'm more accustomed to using this guy at. Now, the nice thing about it is, you give yourself a little half turn on the bottom, you do got your cards right here, which will teach you how to use advanced mode, holding your time, everything like that. Just so that way you get a better usage out of your device too. Because honestly, training your hold time is the key to getting the perfect hit every time off your Dr. Dabber. So, now this is at 500 degrees. Takes a very little time to get it back up to its temperature. We're ready to go. Oh, such a smooth hit. Especially on the Hive Ball. I really come to grow to love the Hive Ball rig. I still love the Mr. Peanut, but I like to dub this one. The Mr. Peanut is still great. Still great. Ooh, gotta mute myself here a second. I got a cough. Yeah, that one. Definitely got me. Okay, take one more hit off this. That's the other thing too, is we loaded a small dab, and I probably have another 3-4 hits off of this guy, but I'm only doing one more hit, pop out the cup, and then we're gonna pop in some flour. Do that. That is where I'm gonna show you guys why I absolutely swear by keeping 2 rigs, by the way, when it comes to this, because if you're gonna use one, you are definitely gonna need to just not just clean the unit, but you're gonna need to clean that fucking piece as soon as you're done doing this, because once you do flour through it, you're going to have that vape smell to it. Now, actually, I'm going to grab this for the video. Pardon me for the, excuse this moment for a moment where I forgot to have something ready for the video, but, however. Boom. Okay, put that right there. Snack back in. Alright, so here we go. This is the original vaporizer that I've used. The Sticky Brick Labs OG Brick. Now, the way this works is it's got these glass tubes that kind of goes down into here. This guy's going to go a little bit into this way, like about right here. There's a little metal filter in there that also points up, so that way it helps when you put a torch down this thing, that it doesn't just shoot the flame straight into this guy and burn the bowl in there. Now, this is legitimately the most primitive of vaporizers right here. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is actual vaporization, what I'm going to get out of this versus out of here. Now, that's not to knock the Switch, because honestly, I do also kind of prefer sometimes just smoking without fire. It's just, again, I don't like having to clean the unit, because I do more dabs than I do flour. So I would literally be, like, if I had both units, I'd be perfect. If I have to clean one unit over and over again, I will literally stop doing the flour through the unit like that, because I do not like having to change a whole rig wipe out and clean, not just once, but you definitely got to do like a good alcohol bath on this thing, like good 2-3 times before that whole smell and taste is going to come out of that. So that is definitely another thing to definitely take into consideration there. So I would say this one last hit real quick. Then I'm going to pop the cup out. We're going to set it on my little grinder right here in front of me. It's going to sit right there. We're going to load this cup, put the filter on it, drop her on in, and show you guys the flower action on the Dr. Dabber switch. So again, cheers everybody. I keep it at 500. I don't always raise it up to 520, even if there's a couple like extra hits in here. 500 on the ceramic cup tends to be now where I like to leave it at. I don't like to go anywhere above that much more. I used to, but I tend to feel like that ends up just roasting a hit, so. Okay. That was good. Oh, that was a solid hit. Oh, shit. Hold on that cough. Oh. Okay. Holy shit. There's still a fucking tab. Okay. Ooh, damn. That got me good. This little swab out real quick. Just to help keep the flavor going. Fuck. Holy shit. Yeah, that dab. That dab about did me in there, chat. Holy crap. Alright. So, taking the hive ball off. This is only specifically for me to use with concentrates. That's how I've dubbed that one today. So, in all reality, I do bounce back and forth between the Mr. Peanut and the hive ball. It really just matters on which one I'm feeling that day. So, it's just kind of a matter of which one I have a preference of. Like, do I want to... One of the biggest things is, do I want to be able to actually keep the peanut in the box with me? So, hello, Frodo. Welcome to the party. Cat just joined us. So, the hive ball does not fit back in the box that this comes in. So, you definitely need like a custom Pelican case if you're going to carry that with you, unless you're okay with like myself. I do wrap the shit out of my ball, the hive ball before I put it in my backpack. But it's the only thing that goes in the backpack this time, chat. I do not put this in the backpack anymore. This guy is strictly carried in the original box that it came in because of all the foam padding all around it. That way I secure it and make sure that nothing ever bad happens to my unit. So, again, I'm pretty sure that's how I ended up fucking up my black unit. So, knock on wood, nothing bad has happened with this guy. Okay, so, a couple things actually I just realized that we're going to need to do here. So first of all, I'm actually going to put this in basic settings because on flower, the advanced setting for me, I'm still not fully grasped with where I'm going to set that at to fine tune it. So what I like to do is, before we even go back into flower mode, so on the switch, you're going to have your little switch down here, i.e. its name. I'm going to go ahead and just hold this down. Up the side of advanced mode. Oh no, oops. There we go. Holding down the fire button and that will pop it into basic mode, which is all yellow for the concentrates. Then, flip this over. Now, again, when I flip it this way, we're going to concentrates. This way is for flower. Boom. Now we have the green lights. And let's see here. We're going to go starting at third setting here. Now, what to do is grind up some flour. Also, I'm going to go ahead and slide this in. Also, if you notice, I only use the pink rings as a color indicator to be like, hey, this is the concentrate one. This is the flour one. So it's another handy thing having the extra silicones that came with the new rig. So I can use the black ones and mark which one I'm going to use for flour when I do this. So, boom. Okay. Got that in there. And whatever I don't use for the bowl in here, the cup, I'm just going to go ahead and use that for my bowl piece later on. Okay. Woo! Don't you, chat. I literally wrecked my lungs with this one. Go ahead and grind this over here a little bit. My grinder's a loud-ass grinder. Sorry about that. Okay. I'm not going to go for the extra taps like I would normally would just to get everything all off the top. I'm not even going to care about it today. Just because I hate doing that on camera. I'm going to knock this with my finger instead. Grab the black cup. And remember again, the white ceramic cup is meant for your dabs. Technically, yes, they are interchangeable. You could do them either or, but they do design the way the ceramics are inlaid to heat up a certain way versus the other one. So, okay. And now, grab this guy. Now, here comes a really tricky part. If you do not leave enough space at the top here, you are not going to have a fun time with getting that weed off of your silicone fucking tweezer tip. Trust me. And when you drop it in, like I just did, you are going to like give it a little shift up, which is going to kind of help allow that heat to actually get the bottom and the top all at the same time. Now, I do recommend you take your tweezers, you grab it by one of these pegs right here like this, and you're just going to take it in, drop it on top. And there we go. That's all she freaking wrote. Now, however, with this guy, I did have him ready to go here. Actually, let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and give this guy a little wipe off real fast here. Also, going to close up my flour jar. I do love this jar too. Medicinal use, toke as needed. One of my favorite things on that jar. Now, I haven't used the emerald one here in a while, so it's got some dust and everything on it too. And since I'm going to be giving this guy a bath, this is why I grabbed this piece of paper towel. Gonna need the rubbing alcohol here. Soak the shit out of the sheet. Give this a good wipe. Good wiping. Ah, pristine. Now she's like new. She's just like new. All over again. Perfecto. Marvel. Alrighty. There. Okay. So, the reason why I use this one specifically, the decanter, for this guy is because I can just drop it in. Like a sit in and forget it moment. Where's the hole at? Gonna see which way the hole's facing. I see. Okay. Boom. Okay. Now it's in. I don't have to move it anymore. Now, what I can do is just hit and get ready. Boom. Alright, so we're going to let this flour get heated up, and then we're going to take our rip here, chat. So. Oh, man. Not a lot of physical vapor, but I got a lot of that the terpenes you feel. And it's really something that's hard to describe to somebody. Oh, God, that tastes really fucking good. Damn. That was like skunky as hell. When you vaporize versus just combusting, right? You're getting the full effects of the terps. So sometimes you may not see them when you're first vaporizing because you're kind of warming it up, right? You are going to taste it and you're going to feel it in your throat. You won't see it. You're not going to see the actual vapor or anything like that. So that's a big thing just to keep in mind right there. So looks like we had a little lag there in my camera there for a second. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead, bump it all the way up to the top setting, and now we're going to go with that. So here we go, guys. Okay. I also like to keep my finger over the top just to help seal the air. Okay. Still super good. A little toasty. This is where, because I already cranked it all up to the highest setting. If it was only on the third setting, I'd probably still get another couple more hits out of this. But I really want to show you guys one of the effects that happens if you end up cranking it up way too high. I'm on the highest heat setting now. I felt like I straight up just took a regular bong hit in a sense that, like, it still gives me that... It still tastes like a bong hit in a way, mixed with the vape. It's so hard to describe, because, like, when I tell people, oh, it's like smoking without fire, they're like, yeah, so fucking vaporizing. And I'm like, no, it's not fucking vaporizing. I would have said vaporizing if it was vaporizing. It brings it to the vaporizing point to where it's just about to combust the fucking flower without ever actually combusting. If you get what I mean. It's so weird where it brings it to that certain point, but it never fully combusts it. Because it's not like it's fully... I mean, if you're going to say that's full extraction, then that's full extraction. Okay? Normally, though, usually when I vape, I like to have it really dark brown by the time I'm done vaping, and then I'll tap that out. And that's be like the already vape bud that you can use for, like, you know, cookies and stuff like that. Incredible. It's already activated. This will leave you blackish, ashy flower residue. It's not vape. It's like, it's a almost, again, I'm not creating a fire in here. It's because there's also no oxygen getting to it like that. It still doesn't taste bad. It tastes good. Like, that's the thing. I think people think that when I'm saying that, it means that it tastes bad. It doesn't. It really doesn't. Now, I could have put a little bit more water, actually, in the Mr. Peanut. But I got 2 solid good hits out of that. Or 3 solid hits, I think, actually. Okay. Now comes the real test. Grab the filter, and there is all that baked into that. That is definitely one of the only issues I do have with that. Now there's a lot of, like, the actual flowers, like, pretty much what you would be making your concentrates into is residual on the top. Do I feel stoned from that, though? Yes. And that only took a couple of hits. That's another big thing. It's actually a plus. Why it seems like a downside, because you're like, oh, man. Like, I'm going to have to load more. I don't feel like I need to load more. Now, granted, I do still smoke. And do I feel that the stonedness is the same as smoking it? No. It's never going to be the same. Like, I don't know why some people will foolishly tell others out there, like, oh, yeah, it's like, it's actually better, or it's cleaner, da-da-da-da, whatever you want to say. Dude, it's not the same. It's so fucking not. The difference I'm going to say is, one, when people say it's cleaner, it's that you don't feel like that tar, resiny, gunk up feeling in your lungs that you get from just combusting, right? From just smoking a regular bong bowl. However, I get more resin on my lips and teeth instead, is where I feel that at. Do I feel like I tasted it more? Yeah. I do feel like I get to taste my flower a lot more, you know. But at the same time, I feel like I can taste flower really well if I just have a really nice clean bong. You know, I'm bougie. I like to use matches. I use hemp wick. I don't believe, like Q-Pin says, that you taste string. I've talked to other people, and they're like, dude, I've never tasted the fucking string. And again, that's the thing. I can taste the butane. And I know the butane's supposed to be odorless. But the stuff that they put in there to make it so you can smell it, that you know that there's a gas being leaked, that I seem to have like a super palate for tasting. That is what I taste, not the string of fucking hemp wick, okay? And I try to keep my shit actually covered and wrapped up so that way dust doesn't get to it, all that stuff like that. I try to take care of that type of stuff. But when it comes to vaping flower out of this, do I think it's the best? No, I think a Volcano could still do it better. I think my Sticky Brick Labs could do this better. But do I want to use those things? No. The attachment for this guy alone is the same price for fucking this whole unit. I'm not even shitting you. If I want to get the attachment and the water percolator for this to make it into an actual watered vaporized hit, yeah, it's ridiculously. I think it's like around $600 total for both pieces. I'm not spending that much money to get the same thing that I already have with this thing. That is a big thing right there. Now, again, if you don't already have like a Dr. Dabber or something like that, then yeah, maybe you would want to go with something like this, depending on which one you might use more. Now, I will also say this, that I was already kind of starting to use more and more dabs than flower a long while ago, and that became the fact that I had to go to vaporizing because over the years of smoking, I actually started to lose my palate for tasting flower. Everything tasted like the stale tobacco almost, and that bothered me. So then I was like, how do I get over that? So then I just started doing dabs nonstop. That's all I would do, and then finally after a few months, I could taste flower again, but then it would quickly dissipate. And it wouldn't dawn on me until I started getting more into the terpene prospect of it, where I was like, oh, hey, if I cared more about the terpenes and I find the certain flowers that were really, really, like, cultivated really well, then I tend to actually enjoy those actual flowers way more, even still. I can still smoke them and be like, oh, man, I can taste all those notes in there. That's so good. Oh, it's delicious. Versus where it just tastes like stale tobacco, okay? There are still strains that, or bags of flower from certain farms that I've bought, and I'm like, oh man, this is, nah, this isn't good. You know, but at the same time, it's one of those buyer's remorse because you can't really know until you get it home and you buy it. So buying a whole ounce necessarily on something you don't know, Devi, I've done this way too many times, and I really should stop doing that. That's my biggest issue, is I will buy sometimes these amazingly awesome discounts on like ounces or whatever, something like that, just because I see a good deal. And I've never tried the fucking strain. I've never tried that farm. And then I get it home and I realize, shit, I didn't like it. So that is to be said. That is to be said. I have done that quite a lot. Now, when it comes to buying good flour to vaporize and stuff like that, especially like for flour, it's not that hard. You can actually have really swaggy stuff still taste good and still be good. And that's the beauty of like vaporizing versus combusting. What you might not be able to get out of combusting, sometimes you might get out of vaporizing. But it's kind of like a leaner, you know, it's a this or that. It depends on the pros and cons of what you're looking for, and stuff like that. Also, by the way, I meant to say this when I first took that second hit. That shit smelled bad. It smelled like vape weed horribly. But so concentrated that it actually has this really bad pungent smell to it. So, yeah, that does not smell good, by the way. I don't know why I keep doing it. It's like one of those, like, you know, like gym locker bags. You're like, oh, just give me another smell. Alright, that guy knows soak it there. Pop a bit. When I do my dabs, I do not want to be tasting the flour. And if you think I'm joking about tasting the flour still after this, no, I'm not even kidding. It still needs to grow. I know I said I need to do 2-3 baths on it, but I was kind of like hoping like maybe I didn't take enough out of this that it would have tainted that glass that hard. Oh man, yeah, that is. Ooh, yeah, that is pungent. Fucking. Okay. Now, sorry about that, chat. I had to really make sure we were cleaning out the insides around here, and then what I do is get the bag nice and scrubbed right here. Bam. I like that reason. That's what's crazy about this, and that's another thing like I was saying, chat. Like, if you guys are going to get one, you definitely want to get maybe one for flour, one for dabs. Now, I've had some friends, the comments here, who have been like, "Oh yeah, I have the excess." Use your excess for concentrates, and then maybe use this for flour. Because, dude, seriously. Because, like, I never really need to use the highest settings on this guy ever, outside of just the self-cleaning it, all that stuff. Otherwise, I really don't use it at a high setting. 500... I'd say 560 is probably the highest setting I put. And that's when I'm, like, trying to really get a certain, like, dab to really melt all the way or something like that, and I just feel like I haven't got it to melt properly. Okay. Good enough. Good enough for the government. Throw that over there. All right. So now we got to put this back into advanced mode. So we got to hold down the power button again. Boom. You see the rainbow of lights. That means we are good to go. Now, so it starts off at 380 degrees. We're going to go ahead and pop that back up to 480, where I like to start my dabs off at. Actually, no, since this is a reclaimed dab technically now. We're going to go 500, drop, and then grab the hive, and then grab the ball rig, or the ball cap, and then boom. And then literally that is how quick and easy it is to switch between doing flower to dabs and vice versa. So there is that to be said about that. Actually, that still tastes pretty good. It wasn't reclaiming at all, so that's awesome. But yeah, so there you guys, everybody go. So, good God, I couldn't speak English there. There you all go, everybody. There is using the flower and the dabs out of it. I hope that kind of shows you guys a full, 360 view on this thing about how well it works. What do I prefer? And maybe if you're going to be grabbing one, if this might help alleviate some of those buyers' remorse factors that might play in later, so that way you don't have that issue of like, oh man, I bought this specifically maybe for flower and then I'm not really liking it. Now I will say, yes, they can hold quite a bit in the cups, each one. However, though, I will state that even though, yes, they can all hold a good bit, like I said, you can only really put in just a good hit or two in there, even 3 like I did. I still feel like that's effective hits? Hell yes. But you're going to have to take that out, tap it out, load another hit, boom, you're good to go. I think, honestly, if you load 2 cups, you're probably going to be baked to shit off of that. Like, back-to-back cups, you're good. Like, that's one thing I would say. So, that is where I'm going to go ahead and leave this amazing video off at. Everybody, I love you all. Thank you so much for coming to check it out. And if you guys haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe. Also, drop me a comment down below what you guys think of the video. And let me know what you guys think about the Dr. Dabber Switch. I mean, I know a lot of people out there love the Puffco and everything like that, but I'm really trying hard to get people to realize that the Puffco is a lot more hype than it is functionality. And I just believe that wholeheartedly. So, but I'll see y'all in the next one. Deuces.